Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Dennis from Crypto Planet and the Crypto Jew on Twitter. And today I received some requests to chart BSV. And I don't really know much about BSV myself. I'm not sure what all the hype is about, but I did a little bit of supports and resistances on here. And I'm going to show you guys where I think is going to be some confirmation zones to confirm bullish pressure and where I think maybe a sell signal. Um, so what we're looking at right now is the weekly chart, and I set up some really important resistance zones. So the top is $237.56. Currently, we're finding resistance right over here, and we have some short-term support right here, and then some lower supports are right over here. And I see this as being a very unlikely zone for us to reach. But I just want to say, if this is an Elliott wave that is being completed, let's say that this is the first wave and this is the correction, if we end up going lower than this zone, that invalidates the wave, and that means we are heading to much lower zones. So that would confirm that we are having a much longer bearish market for this asset if we go underneath here. If we don't do that and we end up getting above, let me show you. We end up getting above this zone right here and we go higher, that would confirm a strong third wave, because when you have a first wave, it is always followed by a third wave, and it'll look something like this. You'll have, after this wave is completed, once you get past here, you're going to have a strong third wave followed by a correction and then a fifth wave, and then that will all be followed by a correction as well. So let me just delete that. I see a very important pattern as well. So if we zoom in over here, we can see that we're finding resistance at this zone, and we can see a pattern called a tweezer top. So let me show you guys exactly what that looks like. So on a tweezer top, you may have a large green candle like this, and then you're going to have a wick going up. And then this candle is going to be followed by another large candle. Excuse me, just burped. Sorry. But this candle is going to be red, and it is also going to have a wick up. And this signals very bearish pressure. I'm going to remove this, and we can see that right here. So this is the large green candle, and this is the large red candle that is forming, and we see the tweezer top. These wicks don't need to be the same size, but this is generally how it looks. This one looks a bit more like this, but this counts as a tweezer top as well. As long as you have the candles forming like this at the top, that is considered a tweezer top. So now let's look at the daily chart and see how this formation is looking there. All right, so on the daily chart, we could see that these candles over here are not looking very strong. These are clearly dojis, and they're failing to breach this resistance. So as we can see here, price is failing to breach and coming down. So what that tells me is that it seems likely that we're at least going to test this support zone. And if we are going to be bullish and go higher, then we're going to bounce off of this zone before eventually breaking this resistance. So this is a potential scenario if bullish pressure does not continue and bring us down to the $86 zone or somewhere in between here. So I'm just going to remove these, and we're going to take a look at some other indicators. So let's take a look at the MACD. So we can see that there is a resistance over here in the MACD that we haven't gotten anywhere close to, and we're already starting to tick down, which is a bearish sign, which means it looks likely that price is going to continue downwards. So as this continues downwards, price is likely to continue downwards as well. And once these lines cross over, that's a bearish sign as well. And these look likely to cross over as this one is starting to head downwards this way. So we have confirmed that the MACD looks pretty bearish. Let's take a look at another indicator. This is the ultimate oscillator. The ultimate oscillator is usually bearish once we have a move above 70 and then a move underneath 70. So it'll go above 70 and then it will come underneath. So as we can see over here, we had a peak at 72. Then we came down underneath, down to 58, rose to 70 again, a little bit above 70, and then we broke underneath. And right now we're at 60. So to me, that is another bearish sign, and this is another bearish divergence. And this tells me that BSV doesn't look like a good buy at the moment. When I see multiple times we have these bearish scenarios going on. Sorry, not scenarios. We have these bearish indicators happening. The RSI also became very oversold over here, right at the top, as you see over here where these dojis are happening, and that's where price started to plummet. So right now, the RSI seems to be coming back down. I would be waiting for it to go lower before I really get back in. Right now, it just doesn't look good to me. So I also just fixed the Ichimoku cloud settings on here to have the correct Ichimoku cloud settings. On cryptocurrency charts, you have to change the settings to 20, 60, 120, and 30 right here. Okay, it's very important if you're going to use Ichimoku Cloud for your trading. And we are in the cloud, but we seem to be coming down a lot now, and we haven't reached this resistance. If we were to bounce off of here and break above there, that would be a bullish sign as well. But as you could see, we had a lot of bearish pressure over here on the Ichimoku Cloud, and I would like to see a break above this zone for a really bullish confirmation as well. Let me just remove that. So it seems to be there's a lot of talking going on Twitter and different other different social media platforms about BSV, and a lot of people seem hyped about it. That's also a bad sign, and it coincides with all these bearish indicators. That to me seems like it's time to sell rather than get in. I believe there are cheaper assets, better assets to be investing in with a lot more long-term potential, especially with ROI. And BSV just doesn't seem like the one to get into right now. If you are really looking to get into BSV, I would wait for a confirmation of bullish pressure first. Uh, that would give you less profit long term, but I believe a move past here would really confirm that we're going to have a much larger move. You could also see how price holds up in these zones, especially right in here. And I will be updating when I become more sure about where I think BSV is going. So definitely put on notifications. I will be giving future analysis on this, especially where when I see what's going on in this zone and I see what supports we reach. And I'll just be talking about where I think it's going in the future. And I'll definitely be talking about it a lot when I see a breach past this zone, hopefully in the long term. Follow me on Twitter. Request whatever coins you guys would like to see analyzed. You could also request here whatever coins people really want to see. I will analyze, but my position on BSV right now is most likely bearish. I see that as being the most likely scenario, and I will not be touching it anytime soon. All right, guys, take care. I hope you enjoyed this analysis, and I hope it helped you a lot.